Greetings, everybody. I'm trying to keep the vibrations high in these videos, especially at this time. People need encouragement. People need, to stay motivated, to just hold on to hope, and just ride the storm. But I am moved to make this video tonight, and I'm not going to mince words. So if you find it offensive, let me apologize. You can still apologize to somebody when you offend them and don't change your position. So I'm not going to change my position, but I don't mean to offend you. But if I do, then, my forgiveness, please. I don't even know how to start this conversation, but I want to appeal to Black women, especially the younger women. You know, we love our families. And in Africa, our ancestors, we're community people, community oriented people. That's how it used to be. Nowadays, it doesn't seem like that so much. Growing up, it was very typical for a woman to have 10 children and, big household. And, I also wish I had more children, but I didn't have more children because I couldn't afford it. So, as much as I wish I had more kids, I don't regret my decision not to have more kids because I think it is grossly unfair to bring children in the world to suffer. Okay? So, our four parents might not have had a choice because they didn't have family planning, they didn't have the resources we have now. I know children are a blessing when you can afford them. But when you have children that you cannot afford and those kids suffer, there's something wrong with you and not the children that you bring forth. Because the children are indeed a blessing. And once they're here, we have to love them. But to deliberately bring children in this world and not be able to take care of them, I just don't know how any woman can do that. Because when a child is hungry and you can't feed your child, there must be something in you that breaks as a female. Now, there's a woman on social media, a young lady, she has 9 children, okay, and 7 fathers. So her first 6 children were with 6 different men, and her last 3 are with one man. When she was pregnant with her last child, 9 months pregnant, he got up and he left her. He abandoned her. And it was so sad to see this. And at the time, I think she was evicted from her house where she was living. It was sad to see this female, struggling with furniture at the end of her pregnancy. Now, I don't know about anybody else. But when I am pregnant, I'm sorry. I can't even tie my shoelace. And thank goodness I'm in a relationship and, I have someone to help me with certain things. Now I've had to do it as a single parent in the past, and I also know what it's like to be a single parent. And during those years, I made sure that those 2 kids I had with my first relationship was taken care of and that there was no room for anybody else for up to 10 years. There was no room for a man. My focus and my energy was on these 2 children to make sure that I gave them a life or opportunities that even I didn't have. I didn't think it was fair that they would now be in a broken home. And I did not make any excuses. I didn't play the pity party. I just had to go out there and make it happen. My second child was conceived while I was in my second year of, my first year of university. And when she was born in February, I went home and stayed for 2 weeks and went right back to school because I know that I had to do this. There was no opportunity for me to lay back and relax. And at the time, I could have gotten social assistance, but I just didn't want that for me or my children, especially my kids. So what I don't understand is how can this lady have 9 children? A man abandoned her and goes off to go live with a former partner that he had. And the woman in this time is reaching out to that man who abandoned her with these kids, 3 children. Am I mistaken? Yeah, 3 kids. He abandoned her with these 3 children. She gave birth to her last child, and to this day, child is about 4 or 5 months, if not more, has not visited her. And she quickly started dating other men. Now, I'm saying here, black women, it's not nice to have folks judge you. But if you have 9 children, for heaven's sakes, and it hasn't worked out, whether it's your fault or you're just not very lucky with men, don't you think you should take this time to look at yourself and to say, where am I going wrong? Because 9 children and 7 men, can all these men be wrong? And let's say they are. Isn't that time for you to assess yourself and say, I need to spend time with myself and my children? I'm not going to be lying to you. I felt empathy for this young lady, but now I'm feeling disgust. And I'm sorry, you put your story out there, you put your life out there for people to either judge you or whatever. The lady is very arrogant, and she lives on social media. And I'm thinking, when do you have time to attend to a baby and toddlers? By being on the internet 24/7, when do you have time to spend one on one with all these children that you got? It's not nice, it's terrible. And then we ask the question, why are black people so messed up? Why are black men so hateful? Why are they so angry? Why are these girls growing up and repeating the cycle? It's okay to be alone. We all want companionship and partnership with whosoever, but if it's not working out, it's okay. And I don't want to use myself to judge anybody because we're all different. We have all different experiences, but I'm saying a lot of young ladies, when they don't understand that your body is a temple, your body is a sacred temple. And by having unprotected sex, because that's why you're having all these children, by having unprotected sex with these different individuals, they leave their different spirits in you. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's really gross. You should have more self-worth, self-esteem, and self-control. More importantly, you cannot allow your body to become like a dumpster. Because even if you don't have kids, just having someone, you know, into your secret garden and leave all these manure, it's not good. It really infuriates me. And again, I don't like to judge female because we all have different things. But after you've had 9 kids, what are you talking about? After being separated for 2 or 3 months from a man that abandons you, that you have every right to go out and date because you're young. That's just, personally, I feel empathy for the children, for the 9 children. She's going to end up with a 10 child, and, poor kids. I feel it for the kids. I'm upset for the kids. If you are a young lady and your relationship didn't work out, it's okay for you to take this time to heal. Your body physically needs to heal. Your mind, and if you have 9 kids, you're going to take a financial beating. It's okay to stay alone. For the person listening to this video, I'm telling you, if the relationship ends, give yourself time. Now, I know having these conversations with women can make them hate you, because I had a long lasting friendship with somebody. And when she was very young, she was a very beautiful person, and she would have no self-worth. She would just go from men to men to men. And at the time, I loved her. So I would tell her, you're beautiful. You don't need this. You don't have to do this. And it turned out years later, now that we're old and raggedy, I find out that she was angry all these years from my loving counsel. I never said you are a H. I never called her names. I just used to always love upon her and just try to tell her that you don't have to allow men to use you this way. And so women will hate you when you try to counsel them. But if you're a young lady, I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just trying to say to you, the kids deserve more. You deserve more. Let's stop having these children and bringing them into a time and a world to suffer. And if your mom has a lot of children and even had many different partners from way back when, we're not judging her because some of these women didn't know, birth control. And some of these women were having the kids with different partners because they were looking for love, which usually didn't work out. If you have 9 children, I'm sorry, maybe something is wrong with me. But if you have 9 children with all these different men, the likelihood of you finding someone who's going to come in and love those 9 kids and love you are very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but with having a newborn and a less than 2 year old and another one that's less than 3 or maybe 3 and less than 2, and the oldest one probably being about 9 or 10 years old, come on, you're going to be very tired. You're going to be very worn out. You're not going to have time, and your frustration is going to definitely spill over on those kids. If you don't have any kids, but you are always from relationship to relationship, it's not going to harm you if you take time. You exercise self-control, because the moment you are able to say, you know what, I'm giving this relationship thing a break, I'm going to just focus on me, you're going to become a stronger person anyway. We cannot just give in to the desires of the flesh. Even when you're a married woman, you have to abstain. Even if you're married, you need time to abstain and to just spend time in meditation. You can't just be like wild animals, just groping each other and just, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the lady's name, but honestly, I was listening to her talking about calling her ex and being concerned about him. And I'm thinking, how are you not concerned about the 9 children? You got evicted from your former house when you were pregnant, and got evicted again a year later. And while she's been evicted, she's partying in some place about having girl weekend out. Once you become a mom, your primary responsibility is to those children. And to have 9 kids, with the oldest one maybe being 11, and a younger one that's months old, and you're partying with which friends and girls weekend. Give me a break. It is a very sad thing to see. I'm very upset. I'm disgusted by it. And for my own frequency to say hi, I just realized I'm going to have to stop watching this lady and unsubscribe, because I support a lot of people across the platform. A lot of, whether it be, it doesn't matter, across the board, I support people and thing. And sometimes when I see them behave in certain ways, I try not to be judgmental. But in this case, it's in my mind, this young lady needs mental help. And the concern is, a lot of times people come out and demonstrate the fact that they need help and people don't help them. They wait until, before you know it, something terrible happens. And this young woman seems to be a narcissist. And she also seemed to be teetering. She's teetering on the brink of something. And I hope, for the children's sake, someone intervenes. Someone monitors her. I'm not advocating for her to lose her children, but someone in authority needs to step in and to really monitor the situation with this young lady, because it's not looking good. Women, we have to love ourselves. When your daughters see your door like a revolving door, men coming in and out of your life, what do you think you're doing? What messages you think you're sending to them or teaching them? We all need to find somebody. And yes, after 11 years, or 10 years of being single, found somebody else, got married, moved quickly. So I'm not trying to judge this lady, but I'm saying, if my relationship here ends, I would never do that again as long as I have children in my household. because your decisions or your choices can really impact your kids. And sometimes we take risks and it works out, but let me tell you, it can be a dangerous game. Young lady, self worth. You cannot love somebody else if you don't love yourself. And you can't allow your children, if you have kids, to watch you live this kind of life, because what you'll be doing is setting the cycle turning. I'm not going to say this lady's name, but truthfully, I wish she was my sister or a friend. And she would have to be angry with me when I'm done telling her, get it together, go and seek help. Stay blessed, everybody.